Yeah. All right, let's have a talk. Baseball. Let's cover it with flavor though. Hey,
Yo.
all righty, y'all already know this on the black baseball covered with flavor like chocolate. Let's go ahead and keep it rolling. And today,
Yeah.
they're going to be announcing the managers of the year for both NL and AL. We're going to see what that's all about. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm still kind of messed up about what's going on with the American Class A. This is such an interesting thing to me. This is like Power meets MLB. You know what I'm saying? And I just think it's fascinating. So I like to tap a little bit into that. We got MLB Pro Prime in the house today. So let's go ahead and get into it. Is this something about that? And the first thing I want to highlight my dog about, because, well, real quick, let me go ahead and introduce for those who all don't know. It is the one and only JR Gambler. What's happening, homeboy?
What up, Big Vince?
In the BZ and the Easy. It's been a minute, fam bam. If I ain't mistaken, last time you and I had a chance to chat, you know what? Last time we chatted, I don't know what we chatted about. We chatted a lot.
We chatted about, it was mostly about the Yankees. Your man was on. And we were just talking about the playoffs and who we expected to win and, you know, who could win and things of that nature. Because, you know, baseball, that's why it's my favorite sport, Vince, because it doesn't matter how much you think you know about the game. It's unpredictable at the end because the stars you expect to be stars are never stars. The people that you expect to do well might not do well, but the guys that are unheralded come through. That's the beauty of baseball. With football, you can keep the ball out of certain people's hands. With basketball, you're never going to see your second string bench player come off the bench and have more shots than your first string guy or, you know, your starters. But in baseball, doesn't matter. 1 through 9, everybody gets a chance to hit. Doesn't matter what they think about you. Doesn't matter if they don't want you up there, right? Like, I cannot pass you the ball. I cannot throw you the ball. I cannot have you on the field in other sports. In baseball, if you're in the lineup, you're batting. And the reminder to casual baseball fans, every last player in a Major League Baseball lineup is nice with it.
Right.
There's only 700 plus of them. They're nice with it. Yes, Miguel Rojas can, take you deep anytime, any place. To act so amazed about it, it's a real, it's a real casual approach to baseball. And baseball games that go 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 innings, you expect an unheralded guy to be the difference maker. So that's what I love about baseball, the unexpected. And that's what you saw in this World Series. And also all of the people crying and belly aching over the Dodgers spending money. Another casual baseball take from casual baseball fans. Because
100%.
if you look at the numbers, the team that spends the most doesn't always win. The Dodgers are in a great spot right now because they happen to have made all of the right moves along with the spending, along with having people who know how to team construct and and scout and all the things of that nature. They put a lot of money into Otani, Yamamoto, and other guys did have the opportunity to spend that money if they wanted to, like the Yankees, but they decided it wasn't worth winning. And being that you're a St. Louis Cardinals fan, that's a strange market there because they're a big market team as far as fans,
Right.
legacy, and tradition. The Cardinals are a top 5 team in the history of baseball in those regards. But in a money situation, how much they want to spend, they don't really spend as much as the top spending team. Again, that's a choice for a lot of owners, right?
Well, let me ask you this. The thing about that is that's very typical for the central teams. If you look at the NL Central, they all have that theme. with the exception of the Cubs, maybe, that
Hmm.
they just decide to not be a top market team. If you look at the front offices, they're
Right.
always basically saying, listen, we're not going to go out and get a Juan Soto. We're not going out there to get a Vladdy. We want to work with our farm system, this, that, and the third, especially in St. Louis, because they're notorious for having created the farm system through Brian
Right.
and all of that. So I expect that, but what I don't expect is for it to, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm glad we had a chance because we didn't really have a chance to break down the World Series.
No.
Don't go nowhere. We gonna talk about the manager of the league before he goes. But for right now, we still ain't had a chance to talk about the World Series. So I definitely want to talk about you that. So the thing about it is, like, all right. I'm with you. I don't harbor any hatred towards the Dodgers like a lot of baseball fans that want their team to win, that are sitting there looking at it like, oh, just money. I mean, I felt that way in the 98, 99, 2000. I ain't gonna lie. That was
Yeah.
a
When the
problem.
Yankees was running them off, but
And they were not fun. I'm just gonna say I mean, I'm Jeter, okay, cool, but outside of that, Posada and like all them cats, you're like, all right, whoever, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Billy. I mean, now it's kind of cool, with Billy playing music and all that, but that's a whole different thing. So I just don't feel like the Dodgers did anything. Like, they had so many opportunities to lose this game. Like, there was way too many. The Toronto Blue Jays had a 3-2 advantage going into their home court before they had an opportunity to lose it, and it slipped out of their hands.
yeah.
But for a mid-market team like the St. Louis Cardinals, right, I feel like they wait for a moment and then pounce. And right now, they're nowhere near like
Right.
I think the Cubs are a little bit closer to that. That's why you see them like shifting on whether or not they're going to keep Cal Tucker, whether or not they should have kept Isai Paredes and all that kind of stuff, and whether or not they're going to even keep Shota Imanaga. Like, they're on a crucial point. The Cardinals are like rising from the Phoenix, and they still got to finish burning right now as far as I'm concerned. But for this World Series, it annoys me when I heard the folks, and like you said, they're casual baseball fans, if they're even baseball fans at all, because
Right.
Dodgers literally, even though they're at the top of the food chain with regard to their payroll, are one. The Blue Jays were also in that top 5.
Yeah.
Right? The Mets, Phillies, all of them had an opportunity to be just as good, but they decided to not look at the same places for the resources that the Dodgers end up walking out with, and
That's
take
all.
risks. You know what I'm saying?
Take risks.
Yamamoto is a risk. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, bro. This was it,
Yeah.
250 mil for a pitcher,
And the new guys that are on the market, the 3 new Japanese guys that are on the market, they're going to cost a heck of a lot of money too, which, also kind of takes me to my point that I was making with basketball, other sports, how going international. We have this infatuation with international products now in the American game. It's called American fatigue. All right. Don't believe that. And it's mostly, and in a lot of sports, it's Black American fatigue. But in baseball, we don't have. They've been had that in baseball. They just call it now. We replaced them with Dominican, no speak of English, right? Same complexion, right? A third of the price, like Gary Sheffield tried to tell you years
Exactly.
ago, right? But we don't got to go into all that, because everything Black people say nowadays, somebody has some fatigue for it, So I know they fatigued as hell of me, because I'm gonna call it like it is. But they got the 3 Japanese guys coming. Now it's a what you call a fad of sorts. So they're gonna have a lot of the big teams throwing money at these 3 guys, thinking that it's gonna put them over the top. When, like I said, with the Dodgers, just team construction. They were just a little savvier. They knew that they didn't play with their fans and say, we can't spend money because we'll go broke. Billionaires sitting up there owning 2 different teams, Walmart, big corporations, Anheuser-Busch, whatever they friggin' own, right?
Yeah.
And saying we can't spend the money, we can't afford it. But then you have other larger market teams. What make them large market is they just spend a bigger portion of their revenue on winning, because they know that winning brings money. Small market team want to lie to you and tell you that if we spend all our money to the middle, push it to the middle of the table, and we want to win, yes, you'll buy better players, you'll have a better chance to win. And in a division like the NL Central, my God, if you spend a little money, you win for the next 20 years.
Could you imagine?
Ain't nobody trying to. The Reds ain't trying to spend any money. All those players you got that you see now, Hunter Green, Will Benson, it don't matter. They ain't gonna be there in 3 years. Trust me.
Yeah. I mean,
Pittsburgh.
I wonder
O-
if they're even going to keep Cruz for long
O'Neal
enough.
O'Neal Cruz gonna be gone. The
Yeah.
Skane, he
I mean,
already got a pinstripe uniform on, Dodgers LA cap
you
in
think?
his
I don't know.
closet.
I guess he would. I guess he could go to the Yankees
In
if
his
they got
closet.
to it.
Oh, I think. See, the one thing I think eventually the Yankees are gonna get back to that spot where they want to be the Dodgers again, and they're gonna start doing things. But I got to say that old Yankee team, um, again, they had four homegrown guys who started that dynasty, who they developed in the farm
Right.
system, and people miss that. Like I said, there's examples of plenty of teams that spend money, the Mets, the Blue Jays, and some teams, like you said, when they see they're getting close, like Toronto, so they're getting close, they go out there and spend the money. Missing this World Series kills teams like Toronto, kills teams like the Diamondbacks, who went against the Rangers a couple years ago. It was really up for grabs for a team that ain't gonna win again in a long time to win.
Oof.
Because some teams go all in every year, some teams don't. The Yankees gonna spend, the Mets gonna spend, the Dodgers are gonna spend, but the Yankees didn't go all in, and people are upset. They talk about, oh, why don't they go get Tom Tucker? Why don't they go get this guy? And then the Yankees management tells you we don't need to make any moves. That's for people to react adversely to that. That's a panic reaction. You know why? Because the best move the Yankees can make is the no move, because Garrett Cole's coming back. And when you add a
Ooh.
Cy Young Award winner, like I could go to free agent, sign a Cy Young Award winner, everybody like, it's
Okay.
over.
All right. Let
No,
me.
no,
Can I?
I don't need to make no moves. I'm a Yankee. I'm gonna add me 20 wins into the mix next season and see where I go. Then I'll see after,
Okay.
right?
Can I just interject with regard to that
I'm
point?
paying him 300 million already. You see what I'm saying? That's my
For
guy.
well. Here's the
That's my
thing.
free agent. The
We
20
have
winner Cy Young that's coming back.
you
So you
right,
can't
and when
say you don't know what I'm just saying you don't know what the Yankees need to add yet. And that's why people are panicking, because you're adding a 20-game winner. You're assuming he's healthy. You're adding a 20-game winner and a Cy Young winner for the previous year that missed the whole season from an injury. You're bringing him back. You're adding potentially 20 games and another ace to go free and to your pitching staff. The Yankees are in great shape. People
but
just panic. You can't win the World Series every year in baseball, bro. It's not how it works.
well, all right. So let me push back just a tiny bit. All right,
Oh, sure.
number one, Garrett Cole will be coming off of a surgery year, of which we're not 100% certain how well he's going to perform back in the majors. All right, you saw Shohei Ohtani took a whole year off of pitching after he had his surgeries, and a couple other pitchers have those same type of ordeals. I can name Justin Steele,
He's
so on.
batter though. He's a hitter
Well,
though.
yeah, I mean, yeah, he did. He jumped on the other side of the dish.
Right?
But for the Yankees, unfortunately, I don't think that pitching completely solves the problem. For the last couple of years, we've been seeing a lot of fundamental issues with regard to the defense. And I mean, it reared its head again this year, even after seeing what happened in the fifth inning of the World Series last year. You saw Jazz make crazy, and I'm not one of these dudes to sit there and be like, oh, we would have won if it wasn't for Jazz, missing that. That's not the case. We know that's not the case, but still, they're still haunted by these fundamental issues. And I think that what they tried to do, instead of like having what they would do in high school, which is send everybody to boot camp, they said, okay, we're just going to hire better defensive players. So you end up with Ryan McMahon from Colorado. You end up with Goldie from St. Louis. You end up with Belly from Chicago. And I think that that's been their game plan. Now, this year, they got Trent Grissom on the he's up for grabs. They got Goldie is not necessarily, he had a 1-year deal, so we don't know if he's going to go. So I don't know if just the pitching with regard to the Yankees is going to satisfy is going to cure all their ills, so to speak, because they're still going to have that same issue. You get a right. Remember, it was Garrett Cole was in the fifth inning last year. He was a part of, if he had ran the first base and met my man,
covered the bag. Covered the bag.
The bag, man from Chicago, Rizzo. If he had met Rizzo at the bag, but it was like a collective shutdown for the, and it feels after 2 years in the postseason having these issues, pitching won't now. You could say the pitching would have prevented a hit from being made in the first place, which could be the case, but ultimately, like fundamentally,
but we
I'm
don't know.
starting to lean on what Buck Martinez said. The Yankees fundamentally were not a good team,
right? But I mean, I guess you can break all that down after the fact. But as we see, once you get to the playoffs, you just gotta play. All that stuff don't really matter like that. Like if a player performs over 162 games on a certain defensive level, I already know who he is, right? The numbers are there. That Chisholm ain't win a Gold Glove. He won a Silver Slugger, to my knowledge, right? So,
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, he could make an error one day in the playoffs. That's just how it
Right.
goes, right?
Right.
Um, 18 innings. Toronto needed to just win the game, and they would have been in parade by the next game. It would have been
Right.
over by game 6. You can't like these are baseball things that no move you make in the off season is gonna figure this stuff out or work this stuff out for you.
Right.
When it's
Right.
time to do it, you have to do it. Then everybody can talk about, yeah, you were the one who did it. The Blue Jays had to win the 18 inning game. That's all they had
Mm.
to do. And they would have won the 2025 World Series. You're
You think
playing
so?
against a juggernaut
Mm.
who has been to the World Series like since 2017, 2018, 2020, 2023. I mean, they are
Yeah. Yeah.
with the same core, basically. Meaning you
Yeah.
have Mookie, Clayton, the same leadership in the clubhouse. Then you add Freeman, right? Then you add Otani, but they've been winning. You're not gonna just beat the defending champs. And that's what I'm trying to tell my man Rob Parker, who he knows his baseball. He said the Dodgers were done. The
When
defending
he
champ
said
is
that?
yeah, he was saying the Dodgers was done because he liked to be right. So he'll just keep going along with the Dodgers were done. But what I was seeing was, wow, the Dodgers are in great shape after that 18 in the game. Even after they won the
Yeah.
next game. I'm like, they only down 3, they only gotta win 2 games in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is that hard? The Blue Jays one game, lost the 18 inning game, and then won the next 2, I believe. That's where they messed up. They fell a game short. They could have had the World Series. So for people to sit there and say, "Oh, the Dodgers, we always knew they were going to win." No, I remember many
Exactly.
conversations where people said during the year the Dodgers are struggling the pitching. What they're going to do with the
Yes.
pitching? The
Exactly.
hitters are Mookie slumped the entire season, bro.
Yes.
So the Dodgers didn't just cakewalk to anything. They earned it. They earned it. And you know what they did? They said the $300 million guy that we bought in, we gonna see if he's the real deal. And unlike other guys that overpay for guys, he was worth the money. That's just it.
Mm.
He said, "Yo, this is what I do. Put me in prime
Mhm.
time. I could go 7, 8 innings, stifle these guys. They got nothing for me." Hey, other teams need their ace pitchers to do that. The Yankees ace pitchers never perform like that in crunch time. Toronto tried to put
Ooh.
some great arms together, but it didn't happen. The Dodgers made the moves. It wasn't, yeah, they spent the money to make the move, but now they'll make all that money back. Why? By winning
Oh yeah.
another World Series.
Oh, and not to mention, a lot of that money isn't coming directly to the accounts of these players because a good portion of it is deferred.
Thank
Hallelujah. So
you.
they're not even getting it. It's being put in a vault somewhere to collect interest, perhaps. And also, I think what I love, and I don't know how bad this sounds, but what I love is how Yamamoto made a whole host of American pictures look, forgive my language, like pussy.
Hello.
Because he was like, yo,
I was tweeting about
he had
that
just started, and then he was asking for the ball at the end of the 18 inning game. If Teo hadn't hit, excuse me, if Freddie Freeman hadn't hit that home run at the end of the 18 in the game, Yamamoto was gonna go in there. And then he come back
again.
around and wants to close, like he's showing y'all look, and he's not some big Randy Johnson,
Now
some
say it
big,
again.
you know what I'm saying?
Y'all,
He's
y'all
not
American
he's not.
mentality is pussy. That's a pussy mentality. And I tweeted
Yes,
that out. I said, damn, look at these Japanese players making us look terrible. And it's all
yes,
about the weak ass culture in America. We so focused, because I'm in that baseball culture and trying to call the shots,
right,
control the type of players we want, control who the players are when they come to your school, and all the bullshit.
hundred
But
percent.
but it's limiting you from seeing the players who can play two-way. You gonna tell me Japanese players, with all due respect, are more talented than American players? Just like in basketball now, all the European players is more talented than kids that grew up in Brooklyn. Like the culture of American sports is killing us. It's like what we're doing with this athletics, the type of coaching we have. I'm sure in Japan, a dad can't just wake up one morning and say, "Yo, I'm gonna coach these kids," because they respect the culture of the game. In America, your friendly neighborhood fuck boy, pardon my language, can coach a baseball team, a football team. Have you ever played before, sir? No, but my son's a great player, and I need a team where he can pitch every inning, and no matter how many times he strikes out, he can hit third and fourth still. In Japan, it's a little more competitive than that. Nah, you ain't make the 6U team because you wasn't good enough at 6U. I didn't make the 6U team. No, it don't matter how much money you pay us, Pop. We developing something. Is authentic and is real. And if you can pitch and hit, you can pitch and hit for us. You can pitch and hit in the college. You can hit and pitch in the majors. If you can play 9 positions, play them 9 positions. Don't need no coach telling me, "Oh, we good at all these positions." No, if a player can play 4 positions better than your starters can play their position, he should be moved in and worked in and allowed to do those things. It's too restrictive in America. It's too based on culture and it's too based on race. And in Japan, they don't have them problems because everybody Japanese.
Oof, man, yo, come on through with the fresh take. All right, let me say this as well, just to add to what you're saying. I don't think that if Shohei Ohtani was American, he would have been a two-way player.
No, that's my point. Thank you. As usual,
they wouldn't have let him do it. They would not have let him do it. They would have been like, "No, what you talk about, you little Yankee boy? If you don't take your PO position or your position only position, if you don't get your ass in the outfield or get somewhere where you can take the ball so we can use your bat." But he was to his credit, he was like, "Nah." For what I understand, Shohei was not even interested in coming to America until he learned that he could play as a two-way player from one of the last teams he was on in Japan. They was like, "Yeah, maybe you can when you get over there." And that was one of the things that attracted him to the Angels, is that they was willing to allow him to explore the two-way play. Right. They're not going to let that happen with any average Negro. You're not going to let Lawrence Butler try to hit and pitch. Even though we know CC Sabathia hit and pitch, we know Bob Gibson hit. We know back in the day that was the norm. Before the DH came into this AL, like into the NL, which I know was on the AL first, like there wasn't the option of being able to have.
Dwight Gooden could hit.
Were automatically.
Rick Russell could hit. Rick Russell, Dwight Gooden. There's some known hitters among pitchers that could have played. There's some pitchers that actually hit 8th in the National League when they play instead of 9th. That were automatic outs. But you said it best, Vince. And this is what I always say. And more people need to listen to us because Americans have the most talented athletes in the world. They're not always the most disciplined, and they come from a culture where certain kinds of athletes are entitled, and others have to work hard. And you know, and the main thing that is they won't allow, like you said, a player to play two-way. But I'm sure there's many that could have done it. They did it as little leaguers. They did it as high school. They just think the concentration, like they assume, they say it's too hard to play 2 positions when people been doing it, and some people are better playing 2 positions and keep them in the game and keep them more focused. Ohtani clearly has no problem pitching. He just runs out there, throws his 6-7 innings, might give up 1 run, 3, none. It's sick. But it also makes me think, man, there's definitely guys that could do this as well. And to call him the greatest player ever because only he's gotten the opportunity to do it, you know, that's why I take some reservation there because I'm sure there's some world-class athletes. Imagine Dave Winfield at 6'6", 240, who did pitch, being allowed to continue pitching. What are you talking about?
100%. Yeah.
What are you telling me right now?
And not only just continue pitching, bro, because what I believe was happening, and you tell me if I'm wrong, because, you know, I don't know if I paid as close attention when I was younger, but I don't think
Right.
that if you were a pitcher, I don't think that they really honed in on your batting skills. You were more just kind of like a bat that had to bat because it was the rule. You weren't like out there swinging BP, trying to make sure that you could hit outside of the park. Like you were just like, look, as long as I don't strike out, if I could just get on base, if I can get a walk, as long as I, but now
lay
you
a
have
bunt down and lay a bunt
right,
down.
right. Lay a bunt, do whatever, anything other than just getting us an out, But with Ohtani, it's like, nah, you can actually pitch and hit well, and not only hit well, but do it in the same game. Like we all saw what he did in that first game with the Milwaukee Brewers season, which some are still saying is possibly one of the greatest postseason performances of our generation.
For sure.
I'm sure Rob Parker would have differences. I still hold Bob Gibson at the top of that with his performance in 1967 with the 17
home
strikeouts.
run.
With the home run too as well. So I'm not willing to let that one go. But let me say this real quick, and then I want to get your take on something else. So Ohtani laid the foundation, in my opinion, for Travis Hunter. Different subject. All right. But what he's done is he's opened the minds of those that had been restricted to a certain type of baseball that had to be played. And it's starting to show them like, yo, it don't have to be like that. And I don't think that it's a coincidence that both of these players that just basically defied the laws of MLB are both on the Los Angeles Dodgers team. I say that to segue into the fact that they are being managed by Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts, who successfully now has managed a team 3 times in this decade to the World Series for victories. And for some reason, he's not listed amongst the Manager of the Year finalists. I know that this is just of the year, but I was curious with regard to you and your experience and your expertise. I haven't always tracked these things. My baseball fever has been rekindled in this decade. It took a slump in the turn of the century when I thought I was a thug. when I tried to be a gangster, when I was still in college, when I was focused on other things. But I'm just curious as to how common it is for the manager that wins the World Series to be left off consideration for Manager of the Year. This is second year in the row that Dave Roberts has won the World Series, that has defied the odds, who brought his team. And I know they feel like it's easy, but they could have lost last year as well. Walker Buehler wasn't supposed to be in that game. He did the same thing Yama did. Think about it. He opened the game before and then he closed the game after. They don't always have the pitching squad in order. Why is it that we never see Dave Roberts listed amongst the consideration? This is not something that's built off stats. This is an award that's voted on by the BBWAA. So it's not like they're like, oh, well, he didn't have enough. No, they were just like, these are the folks that we feel are. And one of these, I will note,
right,
just was in the World Series. So don't give me that. Oh, well, he was in the World Series. Well, John Schneider. Are you trying to tell me if John Schneider hadn't won that he wouldn't have been on here? So, I mean, just talk me down. Am I tripping? I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like Dave Roberts, at bare minimum, should be at the top 3 of this list.
No, it's the same reason why people are saying Cal Riley's a better MVP candidate than Aaron Judge, right? It's fatigue. You got to realize we live in this 24-hour quick cook pot. Most people have no clue of what they're talking about, what they're looking at. But I'm on social. They're so adamant about the fact that they know when they absolutely know nothing. Now, Manager of the Year awards have always been, what have you done for me lately, popularity contest. Once you, for whatever reason, based on BBWAA writers, I know many, I guess their mentality is, look at how many times did Joe Torre win, Manager of the Year. Once you win and they think you have a juggernaut team, they don't give the manager any credit. And then I'm going to take it a step further. Dave Roberts is a black man, bro. I know they be like, I'm telling you, he's a brother. So he getting carried, right?
Right. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
He don't know nothing, right? He don't really know nothing.
It ain't him. It's the team he got. If you get anybody this team, then anybody will win with it. And I just think that's complete bullshit. It completely negates the fact that he had to move his star player, one of his star players, Mookie Betts, down to the lineup. He had to say, yo, look, bro, this ain't working. You know what I'm saying? I got to move you down. And that could have high consequences. It could fuck his whole mentality up. He could go to the World Series being like, dang, am I not good enough? But he had to have the right managerial experience to be able to convey that in a manner that will still allow him to perform. Same thing with Will Smith. He could have put Will Smith further down, but he put him at 2. Same thing with Miggy Rowe. Decided to put him in Game 6. And if you listen to the interviews, Dave Roberts didn't say, well, Miggy Rowe, he showed that at second base he's so good. No, Miggy Rowe has a certain energy. We needed energy. He plugged them onto the roster. To the lineup because it was like they slacking out there. We're down 3-2. Going back to Toronto, we cannot go back out there with the same energy. So
I gotta play my guts.
Right, these moves to put Yamamoto back in the game, I don't think everybody would have done that. And so,
but you gotta
getting even consideration. I feel like he's being slighted, bro. And I agree with you. There's a lot of racial shit into this because, like you said, your boy Joe Torre, he won in '98. The Yankees won in '98, so he actually won Manager of the Year in the year he actually won the World Series. Dave has won 3 times now, and is still yet to be considered in the top 3.
And that doesn't make any sense at all. But it's for all the reasons I just explained to you. It's not any other reason. You know, it's like a little prick comment to say, you know, that's what them prick casuals do, right? I don't got to explain what they look like, where they live, how they live. Them little prick casuals talking about Dave Roberts, anybody, I can coach the Dodgers and win the thing. Like, these are the baseball fans that I hate. That, yes, y'all definitely should be home watching me talk about baseball. Y'all definitely should be home watching me talk about baseball. Because the bogus stuff y'all say, like, I laugh at it because it's so juvenile and primitive and basic, you know. Like, Dave Roberts deserves a Manager of the Year award. Dave Roberts also made that defensive change with Andy.
Yeah, with Paez, yeah.
Andy Paez brought him in, which saved the game. And those are little defensive differences that you make when you're not being led by metrics, when you actually have played the game for years like Dave Roberts and have a little old school. And before I wrap this particular point, the last 2 greatest managerial performances in baseball have been Dusty Baker's run with Houston and Dave Roberts' run with the Astros. And there's no black managers in the game right now other than Will Venable, the White Sox, and Dave Roberts. And it's never spoken about because we assume, right, in this game that these white guys, it's almost part of the culture, know the game better than anybody else, right? It's still very systemic in baseball with how they choose their managers and how they choose their players. And I like when an old school dude like Dave Roberts lets everybody know. It's not about color, for one. It's about being a beast with baseball. It's about understanding strategy. The Juan Washingtons, the Dave Roberts, the Will Venable. All these guys played. Dusty Baker. They all played. Look at the guys they're hiring now. With all due respect. The John Schneiders. Come on, dogs.
Yeah,
come on, man. You think they're gonna outmanage Dave Roberts, Dusty Baker, dudes that been through it in the game at a high level, that won world championships for people, understanding the game, done been managers for years, probably didn't get the shot they deserved at first. Dave Roberts gets a plush job that Don Manley had before him and couldn't do nothing with it. Yeah, he got there, but he lost, bro. Now we talk about Dave Roberts World Series. Just chalk it up, write it on, put it in the book, put it on the board. The Yankees show you it don't work like that. They show you that for the last 17 seasons now. You don't just put it on the board and it work. You don't just throw a manager out there that cut him slack every year where he don't make the play when he gets to the World Series and don't win it. If you get there, you can win it. Don't beat me in my head. The Dodgers weren't anointed nothing. They went and took it because the manager said, The manager made the little moves. He ain't sit back there and say, before I go, I got Dave Roberts. Oh, I got Otani. I got Mookie. I got Teoscar Hernandez. I got Will Smith. I got all these guys. I'm going to do this. Like Aaron Boone. For 9 innings. Yo, Vic, then when the pressure get hot, what am I doing? I ain't talking to my bench coach like all these guys. I'm doing this.
Come on.
Yeah, bring in Johnson. Hold on.
That's so real. That's so real. You gotta look out. Yo.
Bring in Murby. Yo, Dave Roberts out there managing like Dusty Baker was. Yeah. Hold the computers. It's the 13th inning. Hold the fucking math. You're not doing it right now.
No.
I got this. I got this.
Right,
I got this. I got this. I'm the manager. I'm getting paid to win this game, not to lose it because of some noskis up in the front office telling me how to maneuver, what money we don't have, what money we do have. He hits 212. He hits 212, but he hits with power. No, dog. We forming a team that can win World Series after World Series after World Series with dogs that's going to pitch 6, 7, 8 innings. Not Jacob deGrom. So you trying to get into the Hall of Fame with a 5 inning per pitch. He did nothing. He didn't do anything to help anybody win. He only pitched 5 innings every time he came out and couldn't stay healthy. As much as I love him, like we got the dogs are Yamamoto's. The Madison Bumgarners, the guys that's going to take that ball one more inning because we don't want to put this ball in anybody else's hands because we watch too much ball and we know they're going to blow the lead.
Let me say this real quick too, and I know you got to head up out of here, but one of the reasons why I'm stressing this, just in case anybody's watching this and thinking, oh, are they talking about that? Because last year, if Dave Roberts had lost to the Padres, he would have been on the chopping block with regard to his job. He got an extension just recently. He might not have been the Dodgers manager in 2025, even though he did win. And I know it was a COVID year back in 2020, even though he did lead his team to the playoffs almost every single year in the last 10 years. Like he would have been on the chopping block. And so that's why I think it's so important to stress the fact that he's not even being listed as a potential manager of the year, despite the fact that he's won more than any of these other managers in this decade and has had his team for longer. And I just think that there's somebody, I don't feel like there's enough people out there.
And pieces have moved. The pitching staff is different every year. It's not like Clayton Kershaw was in his prime during this dynasty run. He was in his prime when y'all was losing World Series in 17 and 18. That's when he was in his prime, and he was bumming out. So he's been carried by Dave Roberts as well, who has put him in a position to win. No, you're not pitching. I know you want to pitch. We're going to let you sit back, get your ring that you deserve. You're not going to go in there and blow another 5-run lead. They talk about you can't win. You can't win in the play. I got you. No, he had that one great performance that saved everything. But it wasn't as a lead dog. It wasn't as a lead dog no more.
It
was a surprise. Oh, he finally pitched good in the World Series at 52 years old. Thank you.
He's 36. All right, so and he was probably gonna come in after Yamamoto if Yamamoto didn't pitch them out. But at the end of the day,
God he did not. His legacy ain't need that L on it. Yo, I want to talk about the Classic thing next time, though. We got to get back on soon, man, because I got to bounce off.
I'm going to end this real quick so we can holler about that real quick. But I am just real quick, just spit it out real quick. Since we don't get the guy that we want on here, what's your guess for who it is that does actually win these awards, AL and NL, real quick?
You know they're going to give it to Schneider.
You think they're going to give it to Schneider? Yeah, probably Snyder. Well, I don't know. I'm torn between Snyder and Dan Wilson. And also
Dan Wilson did a hell of a job out there. So a hell of a job.
I think they're taking away from him because of what happened in the last game where they put in Munoz a little too late. But I'm also a little leaning towards my man in Cleveland vote because of what he's having to go through with the manual Class A. Who do you think on the NL side, real quick, before you go?
Honestly, I don't think none of them dudes deserve it other than Dave Roberts. Cincinnati, I mean, NL
Same,
is type trash. NL managers type trash to me, bro. I don't
same,
see any managers
same.
that elevate their teams to another level other than Dave Roberts.
Well,
I really don't.
the
But
only
I'm
one
out of
I
here.
would only one I would argue against it would be Pat Murphy because of all the antics. But anyway, man,
That's the one everyone wants. Pat Murphy. I wasn't going to say him though. I wasn't because
for the monkey
Milwaukee
pancake thing.
Milwaukee never does anything. They do the same thing every year. They win 90 games. And Pat Murphy, did you take them to a next level, Pat Murphy? No, you didn't. Like
Yeah, you're right. They did get swept
that.
too. That was ugly. All right, but
Milwaukee
anyway,
consistently wins between 85 and 95 games a year, no matter who the manager is. Craig Counsell, Pat Murphy.
the gong means we have to close shop. Unfortunately,
Yep.
my man Gamble's got to go today, but we will hopefully be back real soon. We can talk even more because I got to get your opinions on what's going on with this craziness, my friend. So we will leave
Let's do
y'all.
it.
Peace out. Let's keep it on. And remember,
Let's
this
keep it going.
is all covered with flavor, just like chocolate, baby. Hallelujah. We will see y'all on the next rip.